we call it, you'd see that most of the local old people, Israelis in Jerusalem, we call Malon HaMelech King David. Honestly, my mother-in-law, she goes to Malon HaMelech King David, Rehov HaMelech King George. Go figure. Okay, so King David Hotel and the YMCA Center, which is probably the only place in the world where it is called Inca. Inca. Honestly. Inca. YMCA, right?
That's also from the stupid Inca?
No, that's just the stupid people, not the signs. Okay, King David Hotels, most of what you'd hear here and probably tell here is how they bombed it. But before we bomb it, let's build it. Okay. 1931, we're in the middle of the British Mandate period. A Jewish family from Egypt named Mosseri. Right, Mosseri is actually Egyptian, right? Or Masri. Mosseri, if you guys are familiar with Tal Mosseri, the very famous celeb in Israel, so same family. They came from Egypt. They opened the first theme hotel in the Middle East. Theme hotel, you're probably familiar from Las Vegas, where you have a theme to the hotel. Everything's designed the same way. The workers are dressed the same way. So what's the theme here? King David, obviously.
What's the name of the family?
Mosseri. Right? So King David, which means all the inner parts, all the halls, everything is designed as if it was a palace from the times of King David. By the way, until today, we're not going to go in, but once you do it, go inside, you'll see all kinds of nice decorations as if it was from the times of King David. And all the waitresses and waiters were wearing clothes totally from how they probably looked like back then. So, King David Hotel. Why King David? Why was it the theme? Because it faces the citadel. The citadel, not the tomb. Guys, think about it, right? We have the valley in the middle, but most of the windows will show you the citadel. What? Citadel was built,
That's for sure.
it was definitely there. When did they start to call it mistakenly the citadel? It was Byzantine period, probably. So in 1931, it was a very well-known place. Okay? So, King David Hotel, built by the Mosseri. Unfortunately, in 1931, it was a very bad time to build a hotel because 5 years later, the riots started. Remember, there was a big strike. There were no tourists coming. The Mosseris had a big problem here with the hotel, with the entire Tayarut. All the tourism was in trouble. So the Brits who were in charge said, you know what, let's help you because we are looking for places to have our government offices and stuff. Let's rent some of the place. So the government, the rented the entire southern wing and used it as the Mazkirut, secretary, right? And that's how it went. Everything was fine. But then in 1946, it was what we call the Black Sabbath. For those who don't remember what it was, why was it called Black? In July 1946, it's because, June 1946. What happened? The Brits broke into centers, Zionist centers. They took people to prison. They found a lot of sleeping, all these hiding places for weapons in the kibbutzim. And also, and that's what I want us to remember, they found a lot of materials, written materials, documents that were found in different houses of Zionist leaders and also from, we're going to see the national buildings here in Rahavim. And these documents were very secure. There were a lot of...
sensitive.
Very sensitive regarding the undergrounds. It actually showed that the Haganah, who played kind of like a double role, as if they're friends with the British, but actually part of the underground movement, it was quite clear that once they read it, they know that they were bluffed. So there was this decision to get rid of these documents as possible. Now, where those documents were they taken? The secretary, to the center of the Mazkirut, right here. They were brought here. So the undergrounds decided to just go up the area. And not to kill people, obviously, and I want to say why not.
No one died in this story? No one died in this story.
Wait, the plan. Let's talk about the plan, right? The plan was not to kill anybody because there were lots of civilians working here. It was not a military spot. Also, there were quite many Jews working here as clerks, right? So, in the office, you definitely didn't want to kill them, right? And that is why when the underground, and it was not just Etzel, I know that everybody later on said it was the Etzel operation. Etzel was of course involved, but also the Haganah, and also the Lehi, it was a combined operation. The underground picked up the phone and called the British in advance, half an hour in advance, telling them that they've managed to sneak explosives into the southern wing, and therefore they have half an hour to leave, go away. Right, so here again, the plan was to destroy the building, not to kill the building. We don't really know exactly what happened. It's a very big question, which is still being researched. Why did the British leave? We know that at first they came, there was a siren, and people started to run out, but then somebody stopped them and said, it's nothing, you can go back. So I heard that there was this new research saying that they had a rat in the Haganah who told them that he will call them if anything happens, but he didn't find the phone, so he never called, and they were sure to close alarm. So half an hour later, noon of June 22nd, 1946, the entire southern wing of King David Hotel collapsed with hundreds of people in it.
The original of building is a hotel.
Sorry?
The original of the building
Yes,
is
it was still used as a hotel.
I know, but they built it as a hotel.
As a hotel, and it was still in use in 1946 as a hotel. But only the southern wing was used by the British government. So the entire wing collapsed, killing 91 people. 17 out of the 91 were Jews. It was the biggest fashla ever, probably. With
Is this why it's a completely new style?
it's not completely new style. As you can see, they try to as hard as possible.
As hard as possible.
Yeah, but you can tell it's different.
Areas.
It's different. That's what made the movement, the underground movement, to collapse. They split. They were together for a year and a half. They did like over 100 operations together, but that was such a big fashla, which completely ruined the whole thing. We know today, and that's something that was learned from here, that if you have such a big operation, which includes lots of lives that are going to be at risk, you cannot count on the cooperation of your enemy. I mean, that was the idea. We'll call them and they let anyone, they'll tell everyone to go, which never happened. It was a major shock for the Yeshufa. So, for example, let me show you the Val, which was the Haganah newspaper saying, terrible, bloody attack in Jerusalem. Now, I'm telling you that the Haganah were part of this, but this is part of the way saying we're not part of this fashla. The people all around the world were so shocked. Let me show you, for example, a drawing from a British newspaper showing soldiers, sad British soldiers, evacuating. It seems like a body on this bed, and it says, as you can see in the back, it says King David Hotel, the fallen sign, and who died? It's world sympathy with Zionism. All right, you guys, you were so brave. We were with you, fighting for your own homeland. But this is creepy. Come on, you killed 91 people, including your people. I mean, how vicious can you be? All right, and here's another drawing from this time showing you Palestine is. The barrel of explosives, which is the two people living, fighting each other, they're Arabs and Jews together. As you can see, spirits of civil war. None of us look nice in this drawing, as you can see. And who's in charge and who's about to blow up? British military. It's not in a good way. Some say that this horrible thing that happened here was what made the British to leave. It took them another year and a half, but that was part of the thing. Is it true or not? I can't say for sure. I'm sure it did impact this decision. Now, I don't want to end our story about King David Hotel just by talking about the explosion. Sure.
So in 1989, I took a tour of the explosion with the guy who planted the bomb.
Oh.
And we met here, we went inside. And he said
He's from the other side, obviously.
Yes, he got dressed up as milkman.
Yes.
They had a milk cart, they brought him the milk thing. And on the way out, somehow when they took it seriously, they were shot at from the guards on the roof. And one of his buddies was shot, and they carried him into the van, and he died. The guy died. Okay. But he said it was all Etzel. He never mentioned Haganah or Lehi.
No, it was definitely an Etzel. Look, guys, I want to show you something interesting about the building. Guys, take a look.